guys, welcome to the Stealthy Crafter. I'm Jessica, and today we are going to be doing a Wip Chat. If you're new here and you don't know what Wip stands for, it stands for Work in Progress. And what that means is that you can bring out your own whips, or if you want, you can do things like you can just kind of sit around and do nothing on the couch and listen to me ramble about what's been going on in my week. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm pretty sure you guys have recognized this about 2 months ago now, since now we're in May. So 2 months ago in March, I was working on this for my best friend Mackenzie for her event, the Stoke Your Dragon Fire. And I only got about halfway, and I put it away, and now I'm bringing it back out. And I decided to kind of not like, it's not a series, okay? But I decided that what I'm going to do, because I have two areas to actually diamond paint. One is going to be upstairs, which is where I'm at right now, and the other is my downstairs area. And it is a lot of work to try and carry one diamond painting up and down the stairs all the time. So my thought process, and it can change on a whim, but my thought process is that I'm going to be working on this one, so upstairs is only for Wip Chat, so that way I have like my setup mostly ready to go kind of thing. That doesn't mean I'm only going to work one section every time when I'm doing a Wip Chat, so you don't really see any progression. What I'm going to be trying to do is, like, off camera, like, I'm going to try and work like at least a section, half a section to a section a day when I'm upstairs, depending on how big the section is and everything. So that way when I have the next week's Wip Chat, it's a little bit further out, so it's not like the same exact square when you come back kind of thing. So that is what I'm going to try and do, and I figure I might do that with a lot of my diamond paintings, a lot of my bigger diamond paintings, because this table is a bit bigger than my computer table, so I'm able to have my canvas spread out a little bit easier for me. So I figured like what I can do is just do something like that, and then my focus projects, like the ones that I really want to focus on, after I try and do a half section to a section on this canvas, I can go downstairs and work on the other canvas to my heart's content. And that's what I'm going to try and do. Will it work? We don't know. We'll find out though. So yeah, that is some things I wanted to kind of announce before continuing on what's been going on around here. The second thing is I did do an extension for the Chrissabug Along. So by the time this video comes out, the extension is finished. It was like midnight on Monday, which is today. Today's Monday, but I'm releasing this out tomorrow. So I figure I'll also announce the winner of the Chrissabug Along in this video as well. So I won't be pulling it until, actually Tuesday. But you guys will, so I'll have to do like a little quick edit here before I post my video. But I'll put in right here the winner of the grand prize for the Chrissabug Along. So here you go. Congratulations. I or Jade will be reaching out to you about your prize and get all those details squared away. So with that out of the way, man, the Chrissabug Along was fun, guys. I had so much fun this year, and I really want to work on it a bit more next year. I keep saying that every year, but it's true. I want to work on it a little bit more, and I almost didn't do it this year. I was kind of feeling despondent a little bit for a lot of reasons, but my friends talked me into keep going and to continue it, and I'm so glad that I did. I really am. So yeah, I'm going to definitely try and try to think up some things that I want to do, some video topics and things to do for next year. I'm thinking either I'm thinking about maybe a comparison project, and what I have is I have Aphrodite from Diamond Art Club. I also have Aphrodite from Jaded Gym Shop, and not just like, and they're both pixel from the hand charted. So I have both the safe for work and also the not safe for work one. So I was thinking next year, and you guys can tell me what you think down below about this, but I was thinking maybe I can do a comparison project with this next year. If not next year, for my 5-year event. So I was thinking maybe something like that, and then like every week we can go over the comparisons like of the differences of the kits and similarities. But yeah, that's still a year off. So I might do that next year, or the or for my 5-year anniversary, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, you tell me what you guys think about that. So yeah, little insider, I guess. So you know what would be coming up for the next year. So yeah, this my voice is kind of getting a little croaky. I don't know if it's just because of the change of the weather. I don't think I'm getting sick. I don't feel sick. I did come home yesterday. I was I'm pretty sure people have heard me say this over and over and over. But I was out of town this past weekend because I went to go see my sister, my baby sister, graduate college, and so I had to go all the way up to West Virginia, and then spend the weekend there. Came back home yesterday. And yesterday I took a small little rest and immediately went into doing my month in review, which I still have to edit. I haven't gotten a chance to edit that. And then tried to do a Wip Chat a little bit yesterday. Realized that my voice gave out as I was trying to do so. So I decided to kind of stop there. So I decided to stop halfway on this section and just kind of continue on from today. But I had a doctor's appointment, and yeah, we'll get into all that. But yeah, anyway, let's see. So let's kind of rewind, I guess, to last week, and we'll talk a little bit about my about some things. And I want to also preface this: I am not trying to complain. I am not trying to make myself to be some miserable person. It's just that I think things are funny, like how things come out the way they are, and but you'll see what I mean when I'll talk about this weekend. Anyway, so let's see. Let's rewind a little bit to last Monday. So I don't know if we talked about last Monday, but last Monday we were my son had a Board of Education meeting that he had to go to, and I made him dress up. He complained about me dressing him up because I got him a polo shirt and everything, and he goes, "But this isn't me. I'm not me if I wear this." And I'm like, "Yes, but sometimes we do have to dress nice, and you can still be yourself even if you look a little bit on the nicer end." And he was just like, and then he goes, "But I'm not a grown-up, so I shouldn't have to dress nice." I'm like, sometimes kids still have to dress nice when they are going to formal events and stuff like that. And this is an event where it's going to be a lot of adults talking about a lot of boring things, and they're going to also be acknowledging your contributions to school and basically what you have done during the school year. So you have to dress nice. My goodness, such an he loves to argue. I don't know where he gets that from. Not from me. No, not at all. But yeah, so finally convinced him to wear the pullover. My husband took him there, and he got presented. Luckily they were doing the awards stuff at the beginning, so he didn't have to be stuck there the entire time. And then that way they could, my husband could come home, drop him off, and then go pick up my oldest daughter, because she has spring band training this week. Well, last week. So she had spring band training, and I dropped her off earlier that day. And man, I don't know why they scheduled it at during the high school pickup time, but they really should have not scheduled scheduled like for the middle schoolers to get dropped off at the high school when the high school literally gets off at the same time. And they said that there was going to be flags and other students to direct the way. There were no flags to direct the way. I got some instructions that seemed very convoluted and I was not sure of, and the only thing I understood was like because she actually performed there during Springs and Christmas concerts and stuff like that. They have the auditorium there next to the high school, so that was the spot that we were supposed to drop her off. So I just said, okay, here you go. Text me if this was the wrong place, and we'll figure out from here, kind of thing. And I went home fighting all of that traffic from there. So my husband went to go pick her up instead. The next day I had to go and drop her off again, and it was just, oh my goodness. It was just as hectic because my daughter wanted me to wait till it was actually closer to the 4 o'clock mark instead of just like dropping her off like a little bit, past like a certain time. For me, it's like when something's like 4 o'clock, you want to get there 15 minutes early. But she was all like, school's still in session and everything, and they prefer you to be dropped off at 4 exactly. I'm like, didn't they have to say something else? Anyway, so I try and find a parking spot that's next to this auditorium, and I get myself parked in. It was the staff faculty parking, and I was like, oh gosh, I hope I do not get kicked out. I am so, that was the only spot I could find that I could just park. I was like ready to go if someone told me that we needed to go, kind of thing. No one came up to me, but I was ready to move if I needed to, because I was just like, I know I'm in the wrong spot. So anyway, it gets closer to 4. She leaves. I volunteered to pull out of the parking area and then get her closer. And she goes, no. She was already acting like she's in high school, too embarrassed to be have her mom drop her off. I'm like, there's other people literally dropping their kids off. It's okay. And in fact, it'll be easier for me because I have to get out that way anyway. No. We were like, oh my goodness, it was like such a big ordeal. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just watch you across the parking lot instead, which is what I did. I watched her across the parking lot. It wasn't very far, but still, it was just like, and then I had to go and wrestle my way out. And like, these high school students, they are ruthless. They do not watch they do not look both ways, because it's like, it's the seniors that are, leaving the school, but I mean, like, you got the parents who are picking their kids up as well, but it's just like, you got all these high school students who are leaving and getting in the cars, and they're not looking both ways, and they're just pelting out of the driveway, and they're pushing their way through, and I'm just like, and here I am, like, trying to get myself into the line from the parking lot into the actual pickup drop-off line, so that way I can start making my way out of the school. It was so nerve-wracking. I got it done. 10 minutes later, I finally got to the part where I had to wait to be let across the street, because they actually had crossing guards. And I'm just like, why does the middle school not have this? The middle school needs this too, because it's just as bad at the middle school, but it's every man for themselves. So, and at least over at the elementary school, they do have a police officer there. So at the high school, they have safety patrol who direct traffic, and then over at the elementary school, they have just a single police officer kind of directing traffic, because it's a small street and stuff like that. So basically, it's easier for one person to direct just a tiny little traffic thing compared to like this huge highway and everything. But it's like with the middle school, it is, like I said, literally every man for themselves. You try and get out, and that's pretty much it. There's no ifs, ifs, or buts. You're gonna have to just fight traffic to get out, and that's it. But yeah, So yeah, she got those 2 days done. I don't think she has to do any more training until summertime, so we are good for now with her. We gotten some bad news with Michael about his robotics thing. He did not make the robotics team, so my husband has not broken the news to him yet, but we're going to plan to do something for him, so he can do something during the summer to do stuff. Probably like figure out some programming and things like that. But yeah, I know that he's going to be a little slightly upset, not like devastated, but he's going to be like, man, I know that, especially since he was kind of like hovering between I don't want to okay, this might be cool to, so I don't know how he is exactly going to react, but he's going to be definitely disappointed. So we got that, and then we had jazz band that I had to drive to Nicole to on Wednesday. It was just like, oh my god, jazz band. They started that back up again, so her jazz classes started up and had to do all that. It was just like, this is too much driving for me, and we're only in Wednesday. Also, that Wednesday, I made the biggest mistake. Well, not the biggest mistake. I made a huge mistake. It's hilarious. The week prior, I had a therapy session on Wednesday at, let's see, it's 9:30, 9:30ish, right? And most of my appointments are usually like a Thursday at an earlier time. So I assumed the same was because things kind of went, because it was 9:30 again, I assumed it was still Wednesday because of how she said her schedule was kind of like a little wonky for the next few weeks. So I said, okay, I'll come in on Wednesday again. I had it written down on the calendar. I had it reminder notes everywhere that, hey, Wednesday at 9:30, come to physical therapy. I'm like, I can do this, right? I get there. It's like threatening to rain. Which is a good sign that we're finally getting rain, but it's a bad sign for me. I'm glad we're getting rain. We need the rain. We desperately need rain. We're in a severe drought, and in fact, my town just did a mandatory water. It's like stage 2 kind of thing for conserving water. So we can only water our lawns twice a week now, and only on these certain days, and only between these certain hours. So we were, before last month, it was like voluntary. Now we're in mandatory. So I was just like, okay, well, hopefully the HOA ain't going to get mad at me for having brown grass, because I'm looking outside and I have some brown grass, and they were so mad last year about that grass being brown. So it's just like, look, you can't help what the county has said, and now like the district here has said too. So it's just like, cross your fingers. So anyway, it's good that we had rain. We even had a little bit of rain on the twins' birthday. Like after we came inside, it actually started raining and all that stuff. But it wasn't enough. And it wasn't enough on Wednesday either. So, which is why we had this. Luckily it didn't rain, because it rained earlier that day. Luckily it didn't rain when I got there. And I was like, okay, rain when I come back. So, well, anyway, I get in there, and it's a kiosk for me to sign in instead. So it's like, I always have to sign in through the kiosk. So it's like, I do that, and they said, your appointment is not in here. Please go check the front desk. And I'm like, what? So I start looking at my phone. I'm double checking. I go and log into to my the medical patient portal that they have all of you to do, to sign in so you can talk to your doctors and message them and all that. So I do that, and I see I was there at the right time, but I was there on the wrong day. So I was supposed to be there on Thursday instead. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it's like, I looked at the receptionist there, and I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow. And she goes, oh no, because she sees me every week. She's like, oh no, you came in on the wrong day. I'm like, yep. I'm embarrassed. I'm like, just like, well, bye, and I get home, and it doesn't rain. It threatens to the entire time. But Thursday like was my first time driving in actual rain. So I drove there when it was pouring, and I was just like gritting my teeth, the whole time, like, because I'm there's only so far I can start using this "I'm a new driver" excuse, because I'm now like at the 6-month mark. In May. I had my license in December, so I can't keep using this excuse anymore. But I have gotten a bit more comfortable. I will say that. I have gotten a bit more comfortable. But we haven't experienced rain here. I will say that. So I can say there hasn't been much rain for me to drive in. It's been it's very rare to see rain. And I remember a few years back it was raining all the time here, and now it's like it doesn't rain at all. So all right, let me open up the next section here, and we'll keep going. So yeah, I was just, it was so funny. So yeah, I get myself there, I park, I even park at the front, and everything, so that way I didn't have to try and walk through the rain, and got to see my therapist, and I told her my blunder, and she laughed. She's like, "Oh my goodness, you're so silly." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm sorry," so. But yeah, she thought it was hilarious. So, but we were gonna do my evaluation that day. But with all the weather changes, it kind of got on the cooler end. She even noticed when I came out that I was definitely stiff, and she goes, "You know what? We're gonna wait till next week to do your evaluation." And I'm like, "Oh, okay," And she goes, "Yeah, we want to show that you actually have progress going on." I'm like, "Okay." So no evaluation last week. So we kind of worked with things, trying to loosen me up a little bit, which helped. I still feel myself a little bit more on the stiff side. I tried to really work on my therapy exercises while I was at the graduation, but oh man, one of my sisters just did not help me at all with the way we had to sit for a couple of days. Which I will definitely explain. This part is why I say I am not trying to complain. It's amusing, but oh my gosh, I hurt so much. So yeah. So I know this was like basically this was like the quick note version of everything that happened last week, is because I really want to talk about the graduation a little bit. And kind of go into what happened and everything. So, so my sister, so my family, they all live in West Virginia, and it's a hefty drive, not like a horrible drive, but it's a good drive. It's a good drive for me. And I was planning to attempt it, but my husband's like, nope. If we want to get there on time, we're going to have to actually drive above the speed limit. So I'm not saying my husband's a reckless driver or anything, but he definitely does drive like 5 above the speed limit and stuff like that, and stuff. And I am like right there, like a granny kind of thing. I don't dip below the speed limit, but I drive right at the speed limit. And when they say, reduce speed because of a curve, I reduce speed because of the curve. I know I annoy people. I'm just like, like I said, I am slightly getting better, but I'm like, I follow all rules of the road. So yeah, he's like, if you want to get there on time, and he's like, I'm not saying you drive like your grandma, but you drive like your grandma. I'm like, point taken. Alright, so let's make sure I am doing this correctly. Okay, this one and this one, so this one does not need to get there. Okay, so, alright, so we make our merry little way. We drop the kids off. The plan was, and I think some people will be so proud of me of how I packed. I packed everything that I was going to take to the trip in just my small backpack instead. My purple little travel backpack. I put two changes of clothes, some sleeping pajamas, and then of course, the unmentionables and socks, and we were good to go, kind of thing. And I did not pack any diamond paintings. I figured that I was not going to have the time to do even a small diamond painting. I did pack like a cross stitch thing and then also a pixels thing. But I was right. I did not have the time, well, or energy, honestly, to do anything. Both days while that I was there, I was just too tired, and I like passed out early both days. Like, I was just so tired. It was funny, honestly. But yeah, we drove. We were going to drive and drive the kids off to school, and then go straight out, especially since I didn't have much to pack. But then my husband, like, I guess he wasn't as prepared as he thought we were, and then asked me to go ahead and just drop the kids off at school and then come back home, and then we would pack up, because he wanted to do a couple last minute things. So we didn't really get to leave until like almost 8 o'clock, I feel like. Which kind of stressed me out, because he was like all, like doing this whole, if you want to be on time, we need to, be able to leave at such and such place. And here I am, was ready, and then we weren't ready, kind of thing. So of course, me being all, bundle of nerves and everything, but are we going to make it? He goes, I don't know. We'll see. I'm like, okay. And then he puts in the address. There we go. Never mind. We'll just go with that. We'll put in the address, and it tells us like how long it's going to be. And I was just like, I remember going there, looking at it, and going, "Huh, that's a little bit longer than what I would think would be the way up there, especially if we're not even going all the way to my hometown." So I was just like, that seems weird. And I'm like, well, maybe there's just a lot of traffic, and it is early morning, and and I was just like, we'll see. All right. So we make our way. We're doing great. Driving all the way through, North Carolina, through Virginia. We get to the Virginia border, no problem at all. Pretty sights. I'm taking pictures, of course, just to send, because my daughter Nicole, she's all like, send pictures, even though we've seen the same scene, a few dozen times and everything. So it's just like, okay, trying to stay awake to do that, because I was like exhausted and falling asleep in the car. And then we get to West Virginia, and we decide, we already decided we're going to go on the turnpike, so that way it's the easiest and fastest way to get there, and everything. So we do that, and we make a pit stop at one spot, and then kept going. And then it tells us after the first toll to go turn, to get off the toll road. And we're like, wait, what? Because usually we go through the whole way. And I was just like, well, I remember last time we were on the toll, on the turnpike and everything, that it took, let's see, it was like, there was just like a bunch of construction and some stuff that was happening, that traffic was like at a standstill, and it took a lot longer than what it used to be. I'm like, I'm guessing it's still the same, and that's why it's wanting us to get off instead. And we're like, okay. So I'm like, okay, we'll trust Waze, because we didn't listen to Waze last time when it said to do that, and that got us in trouble. So we listened to Waze, and we turned off, and we keep going. And then this is when I start feeling like something's wrong, and I'm just like, look, it's starting to take us further east instead of west. Something's happening. So I said, okay. All right. I don't think we got the I don't think we got the right address in. So I put in the address, and I'm like, hun, it says that we can get there in an hour instead of 2 hours. We're going the wrong way. He goes, all right, hold on. I have to fill up anyway. Let's go. We'll stop, and I'll double check. All right. Cause I was like, something's wrong, right? Something's going on. So we do that. He double checks, and he says, basically, I knew that meant that I was right. But then his argument was like, well, there's so many of the same street when you pull it up. And I'm like, yeah, but there's not so many of the same street with the city's name as well. And he's like, oh, shush it, you. Which means I won. won. I won. But anyway, so it went from I'm not going to make my sister's pinning ceremony to I definitely made it. I made it with 30 minutes to spare. Thank goodness. Sorry, I am so sniffly. I don't know why. My husband and I had a talk about this because my allergies were so much better when I was in West Virginia compared to coming back to South Carolina. And we kind of joked that it's like the trees. We think it's the trees because there was just so many trees there. And he asked me before, like, he goes, did you ever have allergies when you were growing up? I'm like, not really. I'm like, most of my allergies are flower related and and pollen and stuff like that. And we had like some flowers in our yard, but it's nothing too bad to the extent. I'm like, but we have all these trees, and I never had such a horrible reaction to tree pollen until we moved down here. And it was like, well, maybe it's like all the male trees because they do plant a lot of male trees here, and they bloom because they have pretty blooms and stuff like that. So it's like kind of just like, geez. So it's like, but it was just like, I really like the fact that I did not have to suffer with allergies while I was in West Virginia. But now that I'm back home, it seems like it has ramped up. It has ramped up big time now. And I'm just like feeling like I'm suffering just slightly with a headache and everything. And it's just like, goodness gracious. It's like I was only gone for like Friday to part of Sunday, I mean. So, I mean, like, I wasn't gone that long. It shouldn't take that much of a change to, like, ruin me. So, yeah, anyway. So, I made it in time for the ceremony. My husband, so, some of the things that you need to know is, my sister did not know that my husband was coming with us. I wanted him to come with me while I was driving because I thought I was going to drive there. And I wanted someone to help me drive at least part of the way in case I had a little mini panic attack or something. And instead he drove the whole way there. He says he likes driving, and I know he does. He does love driving. He likes to drive to clear his mind and everything. And for me, driving does not clear my mind. It makes me more anxious. So, anyway, so, yeah, he was going to come to the pinning ceremony, but because it was, like, literally 30 minutes, we were, like, we made it there, like, in 30 minutes before it was supposed to start. There wasn't really any parking and stuff, so he was allowed to come to the pinning, just not to the graduation. So we didn't need tickets for the pinning at all. So he was going to, but he decided not to, and decided to just go ahead and check into the hotel and get us settled in there. While I spent time watching my sister get pinned and everything. So she is, so just so you guys know, my daughter, not my daughter, yeah, she is going to go into anesthesiology, but anyway, my sister, it's always so funny because, like, growing up, people always assumed my baby sis was my kid, and I always had to be like, I was very indignant, and I'm like, no, because we're 16 years apart. I was literally 16 years old when my mom had my baby sister. And it was so frustrating telling everyone in that town that I did not have her. That's my mom's kid. That's my baby sister. And of course, being in a small town, no one believes you at all. So, and that was such a frustrating thing growing up. But anyway. And it didn't help that I was like kind of like not the de facto parent, but I was definitely a third parent for a lot of it growing up for her first 2 years of her life kind of thing. So anyway, we're getting into we don't need to get into anyway. So my sister, she's going to become a nurse. She's graduated with her bachelorette. She's planning to go back in, maybe, hasn't decided yet, but she's thinking about maybe in a few years she'll go back to try and get her master's. And maybe doctorate, because they just opened up, the school just announced that they're doing a doctorate. So she wants to go into anesthesiology as well, to get a master. It's like a doctorate of anesthesiology, she said. So, but anyway, she says that she is now waiting for her transcripts to get sent, like, so the school sent out the transcripts or release them to the board, so that way she can take her tests and become a full-fledged RN. So that's as best as my knowledge. I am not well versed in medical bits, as much as I have been in and out in the hospitals and appointments and stuff. I'm only on the patient side. I am not well versed with all that stuff. All I know is she right now is trying to, she's going to take the board to be a certified RN. So that's all I know. And hopefully she says that will be soon. But right now she does have a job lined up. Right now it's going to be either a temp license or a full-fledged license, depending on how she goes with the board, kind of thing. So it's like, best of luck to you. So anyway, so we get to the pinning ceremony. My dad comes to meet me outside, so that way I see, can find out where I'm supposed to sit and stuff. And we get, so here we go with I'm not complaining, okay? I'm not complaining. So day one, all right? Day one, driving 6-ish hours to West Virginia, right? Day one, we do that, right? We get there. And also, day one, 6 hours driving. Day one, pinning ceremony, awful chairs. So I should have known better. I really should have known better, guys. They had the Costco chairs instead, so just very little padding. And I know they're Costco because I was looking at the chair in front of me and it had words Costco on it. So not that was a bad thing or anything, but it was just like there's no padding or anything. And I don't know why my dad decided to do this. I'm not a thin girl, all right. I am definitely on the heavier side, and and my sister is not my baby sister, but my other sister, she is as well. He decides it's a great idea to have me sit between him and my sister. And I was just like, well, I'll just sit behind you guys. That's what my plan was. Like, there was plenty of chairs, plenty of space for me to choose a spot. And I was like, all for one, willing to sit like behind them, so that way I had a little bit, I could edge I'll seat out a little bit more, so that way I could sit down, and everything. And instead, I got sitting, and of course, I'm in physical therapy for my neck, and I'm not supposed to make certain movements with my shoulders and neck because it'll set back progress, right? Guess what I had to do while I was sitting there, squished in between my dad and my sister, because my sister definitely wasn't going to give me any room, and my dad has no personal boundary space. He was like all up upon me, and that was something I forgot about. So like he was like hanging off me instead, like on purpose, like arm around me, like that's my baby, like that kind of thing. And I'm just like, my shoulders go in and up. Immediately what my therapist has told me not to do all the time, but I had no space. I was like immediately putting my arms in front of me, trying to make myself as small as possible. And it was like uncomfortable. So I was just trying to stay that way for, let's see, how many? About an hour. It was just an hour to get through. So I got through that until we could get to the reception, and then I was just like, I was in pain, like, because it was also hitting my sciatic nerve as well. The seats were just positioned in a way when I sat down that it was flaring that nerve, and I never had it really. I always had it flare up and down and going up to the back, but I never had it flare around the butt. I know that might be TMI, but I never had it flare around there, and it did, and it was not pleasant. It was not pleasant at all, and I was just like, no, I don't like this. So it took a while for me to try and get up and move around. So that was day one, and then we get to the reception, right? Reception, I start feeling more awkward. I'm feeling like really out of place because so during the ceremony while we were waiting, because it wasn't just an hour, it was 30 minutes of us waiting for the ceremony to begin. So during the ceremony, even though this is a city, it's kind of small, and not like small, but just small enough where the nursing program is very tiny, like the one that my sister graduated with. So a lot of the students' families know each other and know what everyone's doing. And my dad, and you can tell me if this happens to you. So my dad has a awful habit of going, "Hey, do you know so and so who lives down down yonder, and like over the holler, blah blah blah," that kind of thing. And I would go, "No, I don't." And he goes, "Sure you do. You met him when you were 2 years old. This one time, this one specific time in your life, right?" And I'm like, "I don't remember." So it was kind of like this. I had so next to my other sister. So while we were waiting for our little sister, was this lady who was talking to her, and they clearly knew each other. They knew each other very well, but she started trying to talk over her to me and showing me pictures of this horse and going, "But you know all about what's been happening with him." I do not, but it's such a small area kind of thing that everyone knows about everyone's business. One of the reasons why I left. I will be honest about that. I could not. I mean, everyone talks about how they like small town living, and it's nice to an extent, but I just couldn't handle the fact that everyone knew what was going on, and they would immediately report it to my dad, like no matter what. So like I had no sense of boundaries or freedom or anything, honestly. So it's more in depth than that. We're not trauma dumping on you guys. We are not doing that. But it was like I kind of got transported a little bit to that period, especially when she was just like she's like telling me stuff, and of course my other sister's just nodding along. I'm like, yeah, like, and I'm just like confused because I'm like, I don't know what's going on in this woman's history, and she's getting a little upset about the fact that I clearly don't know what's going on, because my family, as much as they love to talk and yak to everyone, they don't really tell me things. They don't really tell me details or events, and so, like, I don't know a lot of things until something happens or whatnot. But yeah, it was just, this woman was just like, you don't know such and such person. I'm like, it doesn't ring a bell. And I'm like trying to be polite. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but she was clearly upset with me, and everything. I was just like, and I was like thinking was just like, just a few more minutes, But yeah, we get to the reception, and immediately like everyone's like going off mingling and stuff like that, and I sit down. I sit down on a nice comfortable chair. Not really comfortable, but comfortable compared to what I was sitting. And I was just like, I want to leave. That was like my thought process. Like, I see my baby sister, she's mingling with everyone, taking pictures, she's hanging out with the other graduates. And I was just like, okay, I think it's time for me to go. I think it's time for me to just go. I'm already kind of overstimulated as is. So I just make my way. I tell my dad, hey, let my sister know that I'm leaving, all that stuff. And she comes out as the elevator doors open and said, hey, can you take a picture with us? Just one more. I'm like, okay. So I turn around, I walk back in, I pose for a few more pictures, and my husband's like, at this point, because I already told him, hey, can you come please pick me up? Luckily, the hotel was like really close by to the college and everything, so. But then he was like, hey, where you at? I'm like, I'm coming. My sister pulled me aside for more pictures. I'll be right there. And I wasn't trying to be rude to my sister or anything, but it was like, I did ask her, I went, hey, just wondering if you're doing anything for dinner tonight. I would love to, take her out, and, treat her, for well, she wasn't graduated yet, but, I still wanted to treat her, that kind of thing. And she said that she had to go clean her dorms that night, and all she was going to do was eat, Chinese food with her best friend, who's also cleaning the dorms with her. They were roommates as well. So, and I said, you know what? I don't want to interfere because, clearly, you got to get the rooms clean. Apparently turning the keys was the next day, like right after they graduated. So I was like, all right, I'm like, hey, we can still see each other tomorrow since Dad's, taking us all out for lunch. I'll just, we'll hang out tomorrow, blah, 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 that kind of thing. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this is going to be the last night with your best friend. I'm sure you want to spend it and have some fun, and I don't want to be taking that away from her, so I was trying to be considerate. Let's see. So we get to the hotel. And at that point, I'm like, what do we want to do for dinner? I don't know. What do you want to do for dinner? And it's just like, it was like a circle of that for about an hour, trying to figure out what to do for dinner. And us telling each other what we were not in the mood for / what we were in the mood for. And I was just kind of so zoned out and exhausted. I just said, I don't care. I just don't want Mexican at the moment. I'm not in the mood for that. That's the only thing I'm not in the mood for. And we kind of just settled on Olive Garden at that point because we were just so done. We were just so done at that point. It's like, we know Olive Garden. We haven't gone there in a while. Let's just do it, and just get it over with. And it's so funny because we got there. We ate our food and everything. But when we ordered, I apparently was the first one that ordered soup that day. And it was already like, goodness, like 6-7 o'clock in the evening kind of thing. So I don't know what that said about me, or the soup is tasting fine. So but yeah, like they placed us at this 2 little seat booth kind of thing. So it was and look, guys, like I said, I'll talk about my weight about this, but it's such a great feeling. I can fit into that now. I've lost enough weight where my pants don't fit me, which is a little embarrassing because I was just like, oh my gosh, I need a belt for this, and stuff, but I can fit in a booth now. Like, I mean, I could fit into certain booths, but I can fit into a fixed table booth now, like where the table can't move at all. I can fit in that, and it's awesome. It's such an awesome feeling. But anyway, since we did that, she gave me my soup, but also, my husband, he ordered the salad, so she had this big bowl of salad that they put here, and I got my little soup, and then she's like, this is gonna get tight, because we did order appetizers to kind of go with it. We were like, just, treating ourselves a little bit, and, we ordered appetizers, then we ordered the our food. We decided to go simple. Like I went like shrimp carbonara. He went with like shrimp alfredo, I think. And I was just like, okay, and he finishes like his salad and then his and ate a little bit of the appetizers, and then he looks at me and he goes, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish my food. He goes, and so when she came back to check up on us, the waitress came back, he goes, can you actually put my food to go? we felt a little bit embarrassed. I was like, I'm going to try and finish eating some of it because I didn't eat a lot at all. But I only took like 4 bites of my pasta before I kind of looked at him and went, I don't think I can eat the rest too. And I felt bad because it's just like having to, wait for her to come back and go, can I have a to-go bowl as well? It felt bad. But then I looked at my husband like, hey, we were planning to try and figure out what we wanted to do for dinner tomorrow. Now we don't have to. We have leftovers. So we don't have to spend extra money. Woohoo! So there's that. So, and that's what we actually did, to be honest. So yeah. And then we get to the hotel. We start relaxing. We're vegging out. I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I think I'm going to like do this cross stitch in thing, and instead, like, I just realized my mind is not focusing at all. My husband's playing a game on the Steam Deck, and I just kind of go, I'm gonna go take a shower, and then I'm gonna just lay down. And that's exactly what I did. I passed out at 9:30. Now here we go with day one. All right, so so day one, 6-hour drive. Day one, Costco chairs, right? That hits the sciatic nerve. Night one, hard rock bed. So our bed felt like it was literally like a plank of wood with just like the barest amount of padding. Like it was like a like one of those like I guess thin blankets or something that just wrapped around. It had no give. It had no give at all. So, you know, as someone, you know, as I mentioned before, who has sciatic problems, who has shoulder issues, hip issues, all the issues, every single joint pain issue. Like, there was no give in my hips and my shoulders, and I started waking up past 1 o'clock. And I was just like, I couldn't sleep because it was just like the pain was so much. I would turn around, try and get settled again, and it was just like shooting pain, and then I would turn again, try and settle down again. And it was just like, and I kept waking up like every hour pretty much. And I'm kind of glad I did, because so for the graduation, my sister, she's graduating like her graduation ceremony was at 10 o'clock, but the doors opened at 9, and it's recommended to be there at 9. I'm like, okay, so if my family picks me up, let's say about 8:30-ish, we get there, and, you know, we should be, you know, he'll pick me up at 8:30, because I asked my dad, hey, can you pick me up instead of having my husband drop me off? Since they had my ticket, they didn't have the ticket with them the day before. So I said, hey, since you guys have my ticket, how about you guys pick me up? Since my husband's going to go into the town to go and pick up these eclairs that I love so much. I talked about them before. They're like, I have really good memories associated with them. Essentially, like, they're like one of the few things that I remember doing with my mom a lot growing up. Like, she would like, it would be like when growing up, you know, we couldn't afford a lot. I was on food stamps, yada, 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 that kind of thing. And, my mom would shell out money every 2 weeks, you know, like on payday, and we would go and get these bakery treats. Of course, I wouldn't get as much as I do now, but like back then it was like we were allowed 1 treat, maybe 2 if it was a good week, kind of thing. And I was always get eclairs, and my mom would always get these fudge or a brownie kind of thing, and my sister would always get a Bismarck. Now, my baby sister did not participate in this tradition by the time she got older, because things kind of changed. The tradition kind of died off. By the time I went into high school, I was going there every Friday instead to get like to get the eclairs instead for myself before I went to school. But it was still something I would do almost weekly, every 2 weeks kind of thing. So I had good memories associated with it. So he was going to do that since he didn't have a ticket to the graduation. I'm like, hey, you pick me up, you know, and we'll go to the graduation together and everything. So, but anyway, so yeah, I'm glad that I was awake, because we're on Life 360 together. I don't know what caused me to look at it, but at 6:30 I go and pull it up on my phone, and I see my dad's dot and my sister's dot moving towards the city, and I'm going, why are they coming here this early? Like, because my plan was to wake up at 7:30 to go get prepped, since I took a shower the night before. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's nothing. And I just kind of lay there. I'm like playing on my phone because I don't feel like I can go back to sleep. And then like at 6:45, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get dressed just in case, because maybe they're not, my dot was like, maybe they'll stop somewhere to eat or something. And instead, they definitely were still coming their way towards me. I put on my makeup. I get more dressed. I look at the, I had this really, really nice blouse to wear for the event, which I had to forego because it was so cold. We had a freeze warning actually the next day, but it was like I was, now remember, I live on the Carolina borders, right? Like on the South Carolina, North Carolina border, right? So I am used to warmer weather now. I've been acclimated to this weather. I'm not used to West Virginia weather anymore. Especially living in the shadow of a mountain. So I wake up and it says that it is now cold, like way colder than what I'm used to, because like it's been the lowest has been like 60. There's been 50-degree weather, like when I'm waking up in the morning. Sometimes there's a slight 40-degree weather. No, we're waking up and it's like 37 degrees. 37 degrees. On May, at the beginning of May, 37 degrees. Sorry, I keep repeating it. Yeah, and I was just like, what? So I did not wear my blouse that I was planning on wearing because it was more like a tank top type blouse with like, it had long sleeves, but the long sleeves were kind of see-through or translucent, so it wasn't going to really cover much, and the blouse was very thin, and I didn't have anything to wear to help keep myself warm for this. So I did had a backup plan just in case, because I try and do backup plans. So I had like this really nice hoodie and everything, and I was just like thinking, oh man, I'm going to be so underdressed, yada yada yada. At first I felt underdressed, but as more and more people came in, I was like realizing I am not overdressed, nor am I underdressed. I never thought I was overdressed. I was like, but I felt like I was definitely not underdressed. There was other people who were definitely like, it felt like we were going to see a basketball game instead. I was kind of was like, oh wow, but then again, I remember where I grew up and stuff, so it makes sense in a way, but at the same time I'm like, guys, come on, a little bit, dress up a little bit nicer, so yeah. But anyway, I wake up 7, my dad actually gets to the hotel right at 7:30 and calls me. And I'm like, okay, I'm so glad I actually got ready. So we, I go down, I tell my husband bye, I love him, I'll see him later. I did not take anything to eat or drink because I did not know what the plans were. My family, like I said, they do not express plans very well. The only way I knew that we were going out to eat for lunch that day was because I asked. I had to ask very pointed questions about what are we doing after graduation, and I still did not get very far except that we are going to go to Red Lobster. And I'm like, okay. That was pretty much it. So anyway, we drive to this university, college, whatever, and my dad explains because of how much how hard it was to find a parking spot the day prior. He wanted to make sure we got here early so he could snag a spot instead here, which was a good idea, but it was just like I had no food, and I was just like, dang it, right? So we get to so by the time we get there, we get settled. My dad starts showing me before we leave the parking lot and stuff. He starts showing me stuff because he has a 3D printing business kind of thing going on, and he starts showing me all the things that he's printed for the kids, like for their birthday gifts and things, and I asked him to print something for my friend because her birthday is going to be August. I'm going to be seeing her. I'm like, hey, can you print this thing? And so I was able to have him print something for me, and he did it pretty quickly. I was so surprised at how quick he got that knocked out for me. So I was just like, okay, but he was like showing me all this stuff. My sister, she made a bunch of blankets for me and the family. So I kind of was like oohing and awing over that stuff. And then I was like, okay, let's get, it's time to get into the waiting area. And by that point, it was like 8:20. And they did not open the, so we were inside the waiting area bit. But they did not open up the other part of the doors until 9 o'clock exactly. And there was no place for me to sit down. I had to stand up for 40 minutes, which I know is such a silly thing to complain about. But like I said, so day one, well, we're not going to go through it, but like what I said with day one, what I had to deal with. And then day two, I'm like, I'm waking up, I'm still stiff, I'm still sore. I did my exercises while I was waiting for my dad to pick me up while I was like sitting and watching Life 360 and things. So I was just like, okay, I have to stand here for 40 minutes. Okay. And that was interesting enough. It was like a little bit, I was kept shuffling from foot to foot, and trying to keep myself occupied. My dad, he's disabled, so he has his cane. So I'm like trying to more for myself, but also like to him, like, hey, we got this, we got 30 more minutes, then it's like, okay, 20 more minutes. It was more for me, but during this whole time. All right, so you guys, you guys need to know, I did not carry a purse with me during this whole time. So I don't have a purse on my possession at all. All I have are pockets, right? And my pockets aren't very big because women's pockets they're almost a non-existent thing. So as we're sitting here and waiting, my dad starts digging in his pockets and starts handing me things. He starts handing me stuff, and I'm just like, what's this? And it's keychains that he made for me and the kids. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's like pulling more and more things out of his pockets. I had nowhere to put this stuff, and I'm just like kind of holding it, like, oh, okay, like, thank you, like, just, oh my gosh, and so it was just like, okay, what do I do? It's like, so, yeah, my dad sometimes does not have the best time to pull things out. Like, he just thinks, hey, let's just start doing this. And I'm just like holding it now. I have nowhere to hold it. And finally they opened the doors, and then that's when I realized we have to sit on bleachers. It's actually the gymnasium. And I don't know why I thought it would be any different compared to like a high school graduation, but in my mind it was more going to be like more like an auditorium type setting, or something like more of a big, like they have like a big type setting where the students are sitting there, but the parents are sitting like further, not parents, but like everyone else is sitting further back in different types of chairs. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe it's because I've seen stuff like through movies or pictures, and that's what I thought would be the stereotypical a college graduation, but I was not expecting to sit on bleachers. And no, I'm not snubbing or anything. It's just like more of a and then and that's when it's like, I really should have brought that butt cushion, that butt pillow with me. I really should have brought that. So we move our way there, and since we decided we're going to just go down one step on the bleachers. So, because they had us at the very top, and then we walk down the bleachers to where we need to sit. So we decided we're just going to down one step, and then we're going to just move all the way across. And I chose to be at the far end, so I was in the corner, so that way I had something on my back and also on my side, so I can try and move as best as I could. And tried not to wince in pain. So yeah, it was like that, and I'm glad we did that because the stairs were steep, and someone actually fell down the stairs like as people were falling in, someone actually did take a big tumble on the opposite side of the gymnasium, and I was like I was worried for this lady. I was like, oh my gosh, is she okay? They were, of course, checking up on her, and then they had to make it felt almost snide in a way. They had to make a PSA, like, please be careful going down the bleachers. The bleachers are steep. And I'm like thinking, yeah, no duh. And then I'm just, at the same time, I'm thinking, you guys could have, there could have been a little bit more, like, for people who are, you can definitely see that have a harder time walking and maneuvering. Maybe direct them to go somewhere else, or try and help them somewhere else, or have ways of, being able to help them move, because the stairs were pretty steep. It was hard to move. But let's see. We're getting closer to the end. I know we're over the hour mark. I'm trying to wrap this up, especially since I hear the kids. They're yelling. So yeah, we get through all that. People start settling down. Then the ceremony starts, and then there was a bunch of standing up, standing up, staying standing up, staying standing up, then sitting back down. And then at this point, as we're doing this, my sister, she's edging closer and closer to me now, and it was just like my space that I thought I had thoroughly disappeared. So now I'm cramped again, and this time I'm cramped up against the wall. I'm like literally got no room to move. My arms are doing the thing that I'm told not to do. And I was just like, and like whenever we're clapping, like I have no way of clapping, because now remember, I have all this stuff that my dad just threw into my hands to give to me. So I'm just trying to clap with all these little 3D objects in my hands, along with the little pamphlet that they give you, the little book that you get while when you're walking in and stuff like that. So my hands were packed. But I was not, like I said, I was not fully prepared for this. So when I thought I was prepared was like, because I thought it was such a bigger school at the time for her pinning ceremony, I brought my loop earbuds, so that way if it was like too much of a loud noise, it would be muffled and I wouldn't like feel too overstimulated. But the microphone there was like barely louder than a whisper, so I had to actually take them out to hear the lady speak. So I just assumed it was going to be something like that the next day. You see where I'm going with this. So anyway, well, there I didn't have my earbuds, and instead they had a booming microphone, the one where you could not really understand what a person's talking about. It's just loud, and that's all it was. It was just loud. And I was just like, I could not understand. All I know is that it gave me a severe headache that night. I was just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that was pretty much for the whole ceremony. And then of course, my thought process was also like when people's name was called, there's going to be like polite little applause, like a smattering of applause kind of thing. Like I said, I don't know why I got these ideas. I don't know if it's just like stereotyped or something, because this is the first college graduation. I've been to high school graduations, and this is why it felt so much like a high school graduation for me, because it was just like when people's names were called, there was like whistles and cheers and sirens and stuff, and I was just like very overstimulated by the time that was all done. So I was just like, holy cow. And it was just like, it was over, I would say there was it was like 200 at least of people graduating, and that was just like for one portion, and they had a later portion for a different type of graduation happening later on that day, kind of thing. So I was very overstimulated. So after that, I'm fighting the headache. We're looking around trying to find my sister so we can take pictures, and we can't find her. And at this point, my energy level is tanking, because I've been standing, I've been moving, I've been doing stuff. It is now past Now, if you remember, I've been, well, technically I've been up since 6:30. I haven't had anything to eat. It is now 12 o'clock, and I am thirsty, and I am hungry, and I'm starting to get into the hangry stage. And I come to find out we're not leaving until after pictures, but we can't leave after pictures until my baby sister has finished cleaning up her dorm. She did not finish cleaning it up, and it's not just getting the last of her items, but also wiping down. And I'm just like, okay, what am I gonna do? I'm trying not to be mean. I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, I felt very much like a prisoner. I felt kind of trapped. And I was just like, there was certain points, like, because I was in my dad's car thinking, should I just contact my husband and just say, hey, pick me up, and then we'll meet them at the restaurant when it's time? Because I really don't want to I'm in a lot of pain. I've got a headache going on, and I just want to be able to get, even if it's not food, I just want to be able to drink some water or something at this point. And I'm texting my husband, kind of just relaying him the situation, because he was being sweet, because he's like, hey, I'm actually at near the restaurant right now. He finished going to the bakery and everything. He goes, do you want me to go and reserve a table for us? And then I said no, because now we gotta go and do this thing, so who knows how long it's going to take, right? So he's like, oh, okay. Oh, I still have some drills of this color. Never mind. Okay, so he's like, oh, okay, never mind. So, yeah, we had to wait, and then like an hour later, I'm like, I text him, like, should I just ask my dad saying, hey, is it okay if Chris just picks me up and you guys text me, when you guys are done? And he goes, I know what will work. Because at this point, it was getting close. I felt like it was not a lunch thing anymore, because we were getting closer to dinner time. It was like getting around 2 o'clock-ish, right? It was like 2:15 at this point. Remember 12? Now it's been 2 hours later. And I just he texts me. He goes, I'm ready for a nap. I'm ready for the most wonderful nap in the world. So something usually happens whenever me or him tries to take a nap. We get interrupted, not just by kids, but life itself, kind of thing. It's the magic of the world, right? So he goes, I'm going to take a nap, and I thought I wasn't going to work, because he's just, he's trying to invoke the magic. But apparently, as he was telling me that, he was getting ready to go and take a nap, kind of thing. And after he texts that, I see my sister's best friend walk in front of us with her trolley to put her stuff in her car. And so I text him, ... how? He goes, did it work? I'm like, I don't know yet. And so he continues on, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have the best nap. I'm stretching out. I got my shoes off, and everything. And at that point, my sister gets to the other side of the car and says, we're done. She just has to turn in the keys so we can go ahead and go. And then, so I immediately text him, like, how did you do that? We're leaving now. And he goes, I'm magic. So that was I was like, because I was like, going, I'm hangry. I'm like, I'm getting really hangry. And I don't want to start snapping at people, but I'm hungry. So we get to Red Lobster. I have never been to a Red Lobster before. But I wasn't impressed, to be honest. I liked the biscuits. They were fine. But I was not impressed at all. I was just like, I kind of was like, I should have stuck with my pasta option, even though I did not go with, even though I had pasta night before, I was kind of tempted to go with pasta again. I should have stuck with that, because it was so disappointing. And I was like, even though I was so hungry, I took just a few bites of my food again. And it was like, I was at that point where I'm so hungry, like, I get full quickly, and then I'm going to get hungry really quick later on, and I knew that was where I was at, unfortunately. So I was just like picking at my food, trying to, take my time, especially since my dad was taking his time and everything, and we finally get everything settled, and say our goodbyes, move the blankets and the 3D printed objects, which I left the keychains and stuff in the car because I was not taking that into the restaurant with me, but I gathered it all up and thanked them and everything, wished them the best of luck. But it was like I would have to say that was the most conversation I had with my baby sister in 2 years, like learning everything about her because she hasn't really had time to talk. And I know that some of it's also because of her going to school and stuff. So hopefully now that she's no longer in school, that we can talk a little bit more and get to figure out things and stuff like that. And I told her that if she ever comes into my neck of the woods, she is welcome to. So hopefully she'll take me up on that offer. Like I would definitely want to take her to this ramen place that my husband and I went to a week ago. I want to say it's been a week ago now. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as much as I know that I'm kind of complaining. I enjoyed having some time with my family and stuff. And let's see. I had to spend another night on that awful bed. So coming home yesterday was we actually came home faster. Like, we came home a few hours faster compared to the traveling there, which, it's Sunday traffic, so there's not much of that anyway. But it was just so funny how less time there was. And we went on the turnpike the whole way home this time around. No getting off or anything. So, but yeah, I was like, I was in a lot of pain getting out of that car yesterday. Like, I was just like, and I'm in pain today. Like, and I had to drive myself about an hour to get work and stuff like that. But I think since I am now an hour and 15 into it, I'll make a note. Remember I've been doing this a lot. I'll make a note about what happened today because today's Monday. And everything, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me gripe. I hope it wasn't too much of a gripe. I tried to make it as slightly amusing because it was a little funny for me in a way. It was like, oh gosh, what a series of unfortunate events are unfolding right now, kind of thing. But anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!